Ladies and gentlemen, this is it's hard to get my name right. It's Stitchwork. I recently changed my name from Whisper the Wolf to Stitchwork because I wanted to shorten my name. I just watched something on YouTube just to point things out for the LGBTQ community. A young girl has just told her grandmother, right? An elderly woman that looks like she can barely walk. That's basically older than my parents. And she's sitting down probably drinking tea. And she's just sitting there in a bathrobe. And the young girl walks up and sits down and says, "Grandma, I have to tell you something." And she has to yell to her grandmother because apparently her grandmother can't hear that well. So you gotta imagine how old this woman is. I'm deaf in my left ear, practically. Everything sounds muffled. But I have good hearing in my right. And she says, "Grandma, I'm bisexual." And she has to repeatedly tell her grandmother this. And then her grandmother is starting to cry. I never got the chance to tell my father's mother that I was gay. Well, bisexual, actually. But I've been with more women than men, actually, in my life. And I'm almost 35. I have dignity and respect for my elders because they grew back way back then, okay? Where blacks and whites were separated, where racism and prejudice were the thing, where you didn't mix cultures with each other. Just like that. I'm not saying that's right. And coming out like that to her grandmother, it made her grandmother cry. And when I saw her grandmother cry, I thought of when I told my parents. I'm almost 35. I got almost 2 weeks until my birthday. My birthday is January 15th. Okay? And it's already basically the 8th. And because I'm up late right now. And I came out when I was 12. That was back in the 1990s. And my father was not happy. My mother kind of knew. But my father was definitely not happy. We were raised Christian. And he said, "Oh, it's just a phase. She'll get out of it. All these kids experiment and everything like that." But I did experiment, yes, by visual. By looking at people, how they interacted with one another, how men were violent against their wives, and how men were just more better than women at a lot of things. And I thought to myself, hey, people should be equal. Women should be equal to men as men are to women. It should be fair for everybody to be equal. And I think it should be fair for everything. Money at work for women. Everything should be equal. Men and women should be paid the same amount for any job. Men should not be paid more than women for doing the same thing. Everything should be equal for everything. But back on the thing, she kept on, and she was laughing. She was laughing at her grandmother while telling her this, and her grandmother's crying. Her grandmother's like, "Did you kiss a girl?" And she's like, "No." And earlier before, she was like, "I've been with a girl." If you've been with a girl, you've kissed a girl. It's not like one of Taylor Swift's songs or Katy Perry songs. "I kissed a girl and I liked it." It's not like that. If you've been with a girl, you basically kissed or made out with a girl. You've been bisexual for 2 years. you've had to have some kind of interaction with kissing or touching a female or a male. And the grandmother towards the end just said that she wants some grandchildren at least. The grandmother asked, does your mother know? Does your father know? Does your cousins know? And she's like, yeah, they all know. They're fine with it. My dad's not fine with it. He won't even walk me down the aisle. My mother told me that she would walk me down the aisle when he said he wouldn't, and then all of a sudden she changed her mind. This is how things happen in life. My parents are never going to walk me down the aisle. I'm never going to have children. I can't have children. Physically. I can't bear a child. I can't house a child in my belly. I recently found out from medical things. But, that's not going to stop me from forming a relationship with a guy or a girl or both. But still, that kid should have gradually eased her way in and told the grandmother and not laughed about it. That's what makes the community look foul. By all these young kids coming in and making it seem like it's a funny ha-ha joke. Things need to be taken seriously. Things need to be eased in with the older crowd because they were raised differently. They were punished severely by their religious parents for being different. Severely. They were like kicked out of the house, shunned, whatever you name it, they got it. And things have changed over the years. So you gotta be really lucky to even have a grandmother that will still support you. And her grandmother even thought it was just a phase, that she was like lying or playing a prank on her. But no, this girl was for 2 years being bi, and she was just laughing at her grandmother crying. Really? You're gonna laugh at your grandmother for crying? That's really petty. And I don't care if I get bashed on the comments about this, but I am part of the community, and I don't think you should be disrespectful to anybody for speaking their mind or having a place of judgment, because that's what makes people the way they are. They're raised differently, they have their different point of views. You just gotta deal with it and move on. Just brush your shoulder off and move on. If they don't accept you, hey, they don't accept you. They don't get to go to your wedding. Or they do and they can sit in the back where you can't hear them complain. I know when my parents go to my wedding, they're going to be sitting outside. They're going to go sit outside. Because I'm not going to have my parents go raise their hand up and disappoint me in front of my bride. Or my other groom. I'll be the groom. I know, because I'm more manlier than a lot of the females that I've gone out with. There's only one female that I've gone out with that was basically more manlier than me. I was basically the bitch in the relationship, believe me. But we both were. We both were butch, and she was just more butch than I was. But still, the point of it was that you shouldn't have laughed at your grandmother. You shouldn't have just eased your way in and made some time to talk to her alone. Which she was alone, but still you shouldn't laugh at your grandmother. That's my point of view. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out.